Hey lovies, welcome back to another episode of the Love Diary with Victoria. So today we're going to be diving into a topic that touches so many lives, often in silence, childhood trauma and how it affects our love life. You see, love is something that we all crave for. It's part of our human design. But what happens when the very first experience of love we had, those with our parents, caregivers, or families, were filled with pain, neglect, rejection, or even abuse? What happens when the foundation of love was shaky, inconsistent, or unsafe? The truth is, we don't leave those experiences behind just because we grew up. We carry them with us into our friendships, into the way we see ourselves, and most importantly, into our romantic relationships. Childhood trauma can shape how we give love, how we receive love, and often to the partner we are drawn to. Some people end up anxiously clinging to their partners out of fear of being abandoned. Others run away from intimacy, building walls around their hearts because deep down, vulnerability feels unsafe. And then there are those who keep repeating the painful cycle, choosing partners who reflect the very same pain they've experienced as children. But here's the good news. Trauma is not the end of the story. Healing is possible. With awareness, faith, and even intentional work, you can break free from those cycles and build the kind of healthy, fulfilling love you deserve. So today we are going to unpack how childhood trauma shows up in our relationships, why it hurts so deeply, and most importantly, how you can begin to heal and rewrite your love story. And to help us with this, I've invited a very special guest. Who has worked with so many people navigating this confusion. Uche Eze. You're welcome to Love Diaries.
Thank you so much, Victoria.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So Uche, how do you put this childhood trauma as, and what do you see it as? How does it affect us?
Yeah, actually, childhood trauma is actually an experience, a very crazy experience for people, whereby you tend to grow up in a family or in an environment where you see maybe your dad and your mom having a lot of issues, shouts, fighting physically and all.
Abusive.
Or in an environment where the whole fights, the whole stuff is happening around you. When you look at it, you start asking yourself, are these my parents? Why are they doing this? And it tends to influence you because in a way, when you're growing up, you're now like, are you sure people are not like this? Are you sure people are not this way? And sometimes it can also affect your own behavior in the sense that you might not feel it's right to beat a woman, or you might feel it's right for a woman to beat a man and all these things. So it's actually crazy and it really affects people, especially children.
Yeah, I believe that because they say from charity begins at home.
Yeah.
So whatever a child learns from home, learns it. Because I've seen situations whereby teachers will complain about children behaving abnormal, or not like abnormal, but violent. Some of them might even be quiet, they don't talk because of the way they are being treated at home. And it affects them mentally, it affects them physically, emotionally, even spiritually, it affects them a lot. So I believe as a child grows up, we the parents are meant to give a safe and sound environment for the child because it affects our future. There's an example, there's a story I heard. The guy was dating this girl. She's from a very wealthy home, like very, very wealthy home. And then whenever she's the kind of person that whenever she's angry, she breaks something. When she breaks it, she replaces it back. And she replaces it like in a bigger way. So when he told his friend about it, he was like, someone that will break and replace. No, like she should endure. So along the time, the time she came to the house, she found out that he was talking to just their neighbor. She got angry, broke their small TV, and then the friend was even there. And the next day, he was even planning on whether he should break up with her. She came with a big TV. And then the friend was like, which kind of girlfriend? I say, he was telling him, calm down. So when the thing now got to a very critical moment was, she took his phone and then saw a lady and a lady's child. I think it was from his colleague. So she didn't even explain. What she did was she broke the phone, was using knife to push him all around and everything. That he had to even call neighbors to come and hold the girl. Then later the girl now came and was not explaining and said she's sorry that whenever she's angry she likes to break it. That was the way she was brought up. That whenever her dad and mom have issues, her mom is always used to breaking stuff, and when she breaks stuff, the next day they'll buy it.
Yeah.
So we did the children, they were already saw it that way, and then the guy was like, hey, he did not, nobody told him 2 times. He packed the slippers, dusted and left.
Yeah.
Then the lady kept on checking her, like she would send friends, and then she would even threaten that whenever she said that she would stab him if he's not going to come back. That's for you to know the kind of trauma she had when she was small. And then there are also other cases whereby, okay, the husband beating the wife, and then the son will now learn that, oh, if I talk to you, you don't talk back at me, if not I'll beat you. That's just some guys are being violent. They turn to woman beater when they grow up. And when you check their background, you find that something somewhere has switched. There was a loose nut somewhere. It's either he saw it from his parents, or even from the aunties that he has lived. Some people are not living with their parents. Some people might be living with their uncles and aunties, and something that also happens that way also. So what other thing do you think can also make that our childhood trauma affect our relationship life?
Okay, so also with the peers that we build as well, because our peers, our friends, the kind of friends we keep also influences us as well. You know, when you're with guys that have this mindset of let's just knock and leave, let's just knock and clean out. Yeah, you get to grow with it, even though your parents are living together for a long time. And when you have such peers around you, you tend to have that character in you. Let me just look at this girl. Let me do this and move to the next person.
Not destroy your life.
Yeah. So our peers also have a lot to play, and also the environment that we're in. Yeah, because you won't say you're living in a place whereby they do a lot of promiscuous activities.
Like in a ghetto, and everything.
Yeah, so you would actually want to be like them at some point, even though you're coming from a good side of the family or something. When you get there, it tends to influence you little, even though it's not so much, but it influences you where you see it there, it's going to place an impact in your life. So these are the environments whereby people can actually get influenced in trauma. And as a kid, as a child being in such an environment is actually quite bad. So I'm just talking in respect to an adult. So imagine a child being in such an environment. Then man, it's something when you can't change a child when a child is small.
That background is very, very, very important. Very important. It's very peer group because situations like all this ghettos area that the parents don't even know what's going on. They just go out in the morning and come back late at night, and then the children are there all watching all this kind of movies with their friends and without anybody cautioning them and telling them, okay, don't do this, don't do that. Even children that when they believe that if you don't beat me, I won't learn. So when they grow up, they believe with their partner. See the cases of all this lady this Osinachi that stayed in her marriage till she was killed. Those kind of things. We should check about the background where she came from, because if you tell me that your husband beats you to the extent that they will hospitalize you, what are you waiting for? You say you're there for the children. Carry your children and leave. Why do we have all these top organizations that are against women violence and everything? You look up to them. Okay, it was after her death now that everyone now starts saying, oh, why didn't she speak out? Why did she just? Most times maybe when they speak out, they fear people bringing them down. Like when I talk, they'll say, it's not you that married him. Don't you know you were? So most of them will they have that fear of when they were small. If they try to complain, their parents shun them.
That's true.
Shut up, oh, don't do this, or they don't even listen to them. So they keep it within them, and then it dies with them. So when they grow up, they are now used to that. Oh, okay, if my husband meets me, or if anything happens, I'll just be keeping quiet, something like that. So I believe it affects a lot because you don't know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
You might meet someone that might have not experienced that grew up with love, and when the person sees you being that way, it will take a lot.
Yeah.
It will make you yourself enter depression because you believe, you are not being loved. Since you're not being loved, you see the case scenario I gave with the girl, because of the way her father and mother has always been, so she has always been like that. And the girl was like, oh, you have to go and for a therapy because if you don't have a therapist that is talking to you, or a counselor, you can stab and kill someone. Who do you want to replace with? Another human being, you want to replace another human being, or someone? No, like you can't. So all this kind of things affects our relationship, our normal daily life. A lot of people have gone to different child traumas, even traumas of when being raped.
Yeah, that one too.
Traumas of being raped. So those kind of things affect especially even the guys. Guys are also being raped, like when they were small. All these big aunties that they leave them with the big aunties, or they leave them with big uncles, they start molesting them. So those kind of things affect their mentality, and then when they grow up, so some girls become sex addicts. Some will start hating men. Some guys will hate women, and because of that thing they say that they just want to sleep with them and leave. It can happen.
Sure.
It can happen. So I believe most of something like all those kind of traumas can affect our relationship, can also affect a lot of things and everything. So now looking at it in the societal way, like what can be done to help those people that have gone through this childhood traumas, depression that really affected them when they were young? How can they move on from it?
Okay, so to me, how we're going to help these people? One should be like, okay, I believe in this, that how you see someone, you just work with the person.
Okay.
You work with the person. Like, okay, let's take for instance now, you're someone that likes shouting, you want to shout. Yeah, as a human being, you can allow the person to scream. Like, just play along with the person. Okay, you want to scream, right? Scream and keep quiet. Because most times, what these people enjoy is when you're screaming and they're screaming, they have that fun in it. But when the person is done screaming, you can always talk to the person. Do you know that this thing is not really good for you? Do you know that you can actually bring down your voice, you can actually talk to the person? Now, you're not correcting the person in a rude way, you're correcting the person in a mild way. Try to
something that has not been done
to them before, because most times they see the correction coming in a harsh manner. So you can actually draw this person close, try to correct the person. Okay, yeah, this thing you need to do it this way, you need to do it that way. Yeah, then when you do it this way, and there's this stuff I also learned online, the tactile learning. Okay. So most times it's not all about saying it, it's all about showing the practical aspect of it. How, when you say this, how it will work for people, how it will work for the person as well. So we need to also try to bring them in an environment where they can see something different from what they've been seeing before. Because when they're in a different environment from what they've always been seeing, and they see that, oh, people are being loved here, people are being treated well here, they tend to adapt. Even though it's going to take a long time, but they tend to adapt to the environment. So I feel you have to bring them out of that place that they've been to a new environment where you want them to be. It's more like saying now that you want to, a pastor wants to preach to someone that smokes a lot. Like you want to preach to someone that smokes a lot, and you just want the person to leave the weed immediately and go, no, you don't do that.
Change comes from the person itself.
From the person himself. So what you do is, you want to preach to that person. You can actually start with, okay, let me use a movie as an example. So there's this man that saw 3 children and invited the children for prayer section. And the children said no, they are not coming down for the prayer section because their parents are not used to praying. They are not used to praying, they're not used to God and everything. So what the man did was he had to look for a solution. He called the children, okay, can you guys come and have cakes? So they came the first day, they had cake, they ate, they stayed with the man, they were laughing and everything. The man did not talk about God, he didn't talk about Bible, nothing. He allowed them to go. The next day he saw them again playing. Can you guys come around, come and eat cake, come and eat cake. They came around, they ate cakes, he now brought milk, he now gave them extra motivation, brought milk for them to take. They enjoyed, they were laughing. Now the man called them again for the 3rd time, he did that for like a week. So the other week, the man was like, okay, let him draw them down to the prayer aspect. So he brought them, before they ate, they said, hold on, let's say a prayer. And they had to calm. They said this prayer, the short prayer. When they prayed finish, they ate the stuff. He did that one for another 1 week.
1 week again.
So the other week, they came. He didn't give them cake. He They just said, okay, can we have this section? Then after this section, I'll get you the
Cake
cakes
and
and
everything.
everything.
So that will keep them already.
Keep them to. So you've already used something to entice them. So bringing them in, they had to now say, when the man fell sick and they weren't seeing the man, they used their leg to come around to see this man and to even pray for him. And that change really made an impact in the family because they had to go home. They started becoming prayerful, started doing some prayer, they started praying and all that stuff.
And if their parents noticed it already,
yeah. So most times in this kind of traumatized, it's more like you're bringing out the person from that place the person is, enticing the person to do what you want the person to do. Because you can't tell me you want me to do something and you're not showing me how good it will look like.
Yeah.
Like something that will entice me to do it. So you need to practicalize it. So I feel if you want to bring people out of that, you need to entice them with something, entice them with an act for them to get to live what they're doing. And it's not going to take an immediate action. It's going to take a while. Yeah, it has to grow. It has to keep building and building before it gets there. So that's
I can understand that because it's like you said, sexuality begins at home. At least that from that little way the man tries to bring them in and every other thing. Another thing is also, I believe, we the parents forget the whole busy half time.
Half time.
It's because all these people that have been to all this trauma, one thing you can do is, not like you said, communication. Communicate with them nicely. Try to like show them the right way things is being done and everything. Because I believe they didn't learn it from when they were supposed to. When they come to that place or that position whereby they are seeing it differently, they start getting confused. Should I do this or should I not do this? That's why some of them they have little clashes.
Yeah.
Along with as they are growing, they have little clashes from the friends. Okay, like people that have like for example, the lady that has been right from when she was small, she has never had the love of a father or the love of a mother, but she will stay with her parent. So when she's with her partner and then her partner is treating her anyhow, she'll take it like, okay, that's how life has been.
Interesting.
She'll take it that's how life has been because you see then they'll be, and then one day they'll be like, oh, since that's the way my parents are doing it, there's nothing bad in it. Even if you tell them they're killing them, they're doing it, they tell you, that's the way he loves me. If he does not beat me, he does not love. That's what you say, if he doesn't beat me, he does not love you. Yeah. He does not do this way, he does not. No, it's not done that way. So I think those kind of people, they need a therapy. They need people with good intentions to talk to them. People with good value to talk to them. Yeah. Most people, due to the childhood trauma, they build walls. They don't want to love. They don't want to do anything concerning. Most of them, they just don't play as. Most people don't play as because of what their past experiences. So this kind of people, when they see someone that now loves it, it takes them a long time to be that this person love me. No, it's not possible. So when you keep on showing that kindness, the love, the passion, the trust, the honesty, the communication, their walls begin to break little by little. Before you know, they are old. I believe a lot happen to people when they grow up. From their house to school, people that are being bullied, and then they believe when they are being bullied, they become timid and everything. But when they see people that talk to them and they make them to stand up for themselves, when they make them to rise up on their feet, it takes them time, but at the end room, they become who they want to be, they become a great, better person. So at the end of this, my viewers, my listeners, and wherever you're listening from, know this. Trauma is not a lifelong phase. It's something you can pass through. You can heal from your childhood trauma. Meet the right person. Ask yourself, talk to yourself and say, I want to be a better person. I want to be a better human being. And as time goes on, when you go for the right consultations, when you meet the right friends, the right pathways, you will see that it's something that you can easily forget. And when you see that person that loves you, please don't hesitate to be open, because it's also tiring when someone is trying to make you a better person or trying to put effort in making you to move on, and you are killing the whole effort. The person will get tired also. So when you meet people that are ready to make you be a better person, open up. be good, be fine. As time goes on, God will heal your heart and everything will be perfectly fine. So thank you so much, Uche, for having this session with us and letting us understand that trauma can be a phase that we can all pass through. So please don't forget, in everything, still pray to God. God is the finisher of all things. So just pray to God, and I believe and I know that your healing has started already. So thank you very much for joining us today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also please don't forget to share and then this episode resonates with. Until next time, I'm still your host, Victoria.
Thank you.
One love.
Thank you.
Thank you.